Hello, my name is John Beitler, and this is the history of the banjo. Where the banjo originated. The banjo likely doesn't have one single ancestor, but it is derived from West Africa. It shares elements with a family of approximately 80 known West African plucked spike lutes. These plucked spike lutes mean they share three basic design features. The body is a hollow gourd, calabash, or carved wood. It simply means it is one of these three. Transition into America. The first banjo in America was documented in the Caribbean, with the Jamaican banjo possibly being the origin of the word banjo. Enslaved West Africans brought the banjo into America and played it for the first time in South Carolina around 1785. Black musicians played the banjo accompanied by singing or dancing. The first dance with a banjo was called the Old Plantation. It was depicted by a painting made by plantation owner John Ross in the 1780s. Blackface minstrelies. Blackface minstrelies was a form of entertainment in the United States where white men performed skits portraying African Americans in derogatory or clownish actions. In reality, these shows did not influence African Americans, and they drew their material from commercialized popular music and rumors they would hear. Joel Sweeney was the first minstrel performer to play the banjo. He became the first white superstar of the banjo, touring the U.S. from 1836 to around 1840. It is important to note that Joel Sweeney, while he was famous for playing the banjo, he did still mock and make fun of these African Americans. His performance created a demand for banjos from performers and many more interested in the instrument. Evolution of the banjo. Up until 1845, it was hard to make a banjo because the body was made of a gourd and couldn't easily be produced. William Butcher Jr., the earliest known commercial manufacturer, started mass-producing banjos, replacing the gourd body with a wood frame. He used European drum technology to attach the head, which provided a mechanism for controlling the tone of the instrument. Although the banjo was still only being used in minstrel plays, many became fond of the instrument and wanted to learn how to play it. Both William Butcher Jr. and Joel Sweeney are credited for giving the banjo a larger audience. Banjo and the fiddle. After the Civil War ended in 1866, the banjo became a common instrument to play with the fiddle, Appalachia's most popular instrument at the time. Soon after, white people were adapting songs to include the banjo to accompany the fiddle. At this point, both black and white banjo players began to pluck individual strings, which set the foundation for the traditional Appalachian banjo music today. Unfortunately, the popularity of minstrel shows drove many black musicians away from the instrument, as they associated it with being degrading to them instead of culturally sharing it with white people. The dawn of jazz. The 1890s introduced recorded sound with the invention of Thomas Edison's phonograph and Emil Berliner's gramophone. Jazz became one of the most popular styles of music in the 19th and early 20th centuries, having roots in blues, ragtime, and many more styles. The banjo was one of the principal instruments, as its loud and bright sound cut through jazz bands and dance orchestras, providing a solid rhythm. Bluegrass banjo. In the late 1930s, songwriter Bill Monroe formed the Bluegrass Boys, a band known for developing bluegrass music. Bluegrass music is rooted in Appalachia and incorporates jazz influences and emphasizes instrumental skill, even including improvised solos, which was very rare at the time. In 1945, Earl Scruggs replaced original banjo player David Aikman and invented new ways to play the banjo. Earl Scruggs is undoubtedly one of the best banjo performers of all time. He created a signature three-finger picking style, changed the instrument, and revolutionized the bluegrass genre. When he later left the Bluegrass Boys to form his iconic duo known as Flatt and Scruggs, he expanded the banjo's role from a mere rhythmic accompaniment to a lead voice that commanded songs. He made many classics such as Foggy Mountain Breakdown and cemented himself as a legend within the banjo community and many more communities other than that. The banjo today. The banjo can be heard in virtually every genre of music. There are virtually countless ways to play this instrument, and it would take a whole other presentation to explain all of them, and I'm sure I'd miss many on that presentation as well. Rihanna Giddens is currently one of the most popular banjo players. Her banjo playing was recently featured on Beyonce's Texas Hold'em single, which I'm pretty sure went #1 for a good bit. And there's much more to the banjo than you would realize at first glance. It's a relic of history that grew and evolved with the United States. This presentation has just scratched the surface of how truly interesting the history of the banjo really is, and I recommend that if you do have free time that you should look some of this stuff up because it really changed the way I think about banjos because it really grew with the United States, as I've said before. It's very interesting to look at. And finally, thank you for watching my presentation. Here are the works cited I used. Thank you.